All right, everyone, so today we're going over the long slick back hairstyle and haircut. This is a fresh mannequin, never been cut before, and I'm ready to get started. So product-wise, here's what I'm going to be using. My 25 spray. 25 spray is a must foundational spray for when you're actually just styling your hair and also when you're cutting. So give it a good shake. It's a thicker liquid. It's got 25 benefits in it. And you want to press down firmly on the sprayer simply because it's a thicker liquid. And if you don't, it's going to shoot out like a laser beam. Next, I'm using my updated brand new anti-static vent brush. This is now officially under the TheSalonGuy brand, under my mold. Got the same, nice rubber handle and the bristles. This is an ideal brush for combing out knots, for styling, just to have in your arsenal of tools, whether you are a hair professional or just, a consumer. This is an amazing brush. As you can see, combs right through any knots. Anti-static vent brush. You could also use my carbon comb as well. If you like using a comb, this gets through knots easily as well. But my personal choice is the anti-static vent brush. And all this is available at shop.thesalonguy.com. Use code YouTube20 for 20% off. All right. Now, I'm ready to get cutting. And here is what we're going to do. So for slick backs, and if you want to wear your hair on a bit of a longer style, and you want to have it off your face, first of all, the hair texture is very important. This can be done on straight hair. It can be done on, wavy hair. Super curly hair, it could work. You just need to make sure that you don't layer it too much, because if you have too many layers on top, it's going to actually make the hair kind of spring up a bit and shrink up. So, some layering is okay, but I don't want to go crazy on the layers for this particular haircut. What is important, however, is the length, that we maintain some sort of length throughout the sides and the back, and that is what's going to allow us to brush this hair back. If you start to cut this, anywhere near like this area, you can slick it back, but it's the shorter you go, it's harder to have all this hair travel backwards. This hair needs to travel for it to go back. I'm going to create a middle, center parting. And let's just say that you're going to wear your hair down the middle, or even not even the center part, because you're slicking it all back. So it doesn't really matter about like the parting. It's more or less that it's in the general vicinity of this area because it's all going back. I'm just doing this to stay organized. And I think that's what I suggest too. If you're a hair professional watching this and you're learning how to cut this, or you're attempting to cut this yourself, it's one of those things. So here we go. Check this out. All right, push this back, get this out of the way, and there we go. Awesome. Now, I'm going to establish my length first, and the length is going to be in the back. This is really, really, really crucial for all of you, and especially if you're getting your hair cut and you're trying to, create this new style. This is really, really, really important. How I'm going to cut this is I'm literally just going to hold this hair out of the way and get rid of all this. And it can be sectioned off. It can be clipped. You don't need to have 45 different, sections for this. Just get it out of the way and establish your length. So based off of the front coming down to about right here, I want to create this to where the length is probably about here, okay? So let's get this situated right here. I'm going to comb this all straight down, and then I'm going to make one simple cut like this, and I'm going to go straight across. All right, let's go on this side here. I'm not using any tension, and all I'm looking to do is create a straight line. That's it. All right, let's bring this hair all the way down, just like this. This is not the most difficult haircut. However, it can be done poorly, so you got to make sure that if you're trying to grow your hair out, and you're a client and you're going to someone who maybe doesn't work with longer hair, they're not really comfortable with it, they're not used to it, they only use clippers, you may want to go to someone else unless they really have proven that they can work with longer hair. Then that's one thing you need to really take into consideration. So I'm really just, to simplify this, cutting a straight line throughout the back. That's pretty much it, okay? There it is. 2 sections, bam. All right, now we have to connect this into this. Now you can see I haven't cut this before, but look how stringy that hair is. So I have to cut this to sharpen it, but we're gonna actually go on an angle. All right, so here is where I finished cutting the back, right in through here. You can see it's not that strong. It's a very wispy and thin. This is the way the mannequin came, unfortunately. I think these mannequins that I got are absolutely awful. I ordered them from overseas, but here we go. So I'm cutting it on a slight angle just to strengthen that line up, and there we go. The front section right here, I'm literally just going to skim those ends to make it look a little bit thicker. If you're somebody who is getting your hair cut like this and your hair is growing out, or it's really long, you could have thinner ends like that just simply because you haven't had a haircut. But look at the difference now of how we strengthen that line up. All I'm really focusing on right now, honestly, is creating a super solid foundation, meaning the length. The length, the lines, all this stuff, I have to recreate and do some reconstructive surgery on this simply because the ends here are much thinner, okay, than I was hoping for. This is the way these mannequins came, but this is a good example of what it takes sometimes to fix a haircut. So if you have hair, that is if you're a professional that's really thin and fine, just look at those areas of how you can strengthen that. And just by putting that line there, we've made that a little bit stronger as far as the shape. Now, the very front, I'm pulling this all towards the face like this. And I'm gonna comb this down, and I just wanna skim those fine little pieces right there. Those little hair ends that are a little bit wispy and thin still. And I'm really trying to strengthen this shape up. Now I'm gonna check my balance. I'm gonna pull this all straight down, and I feel like I can make this a little bit stronger right into here. And there we go, as you can see. This is the benefit of cutting and combing, cutting and combing. You continuously, if you're a professional, again, I'm really using a lot of verbiage as if you were a hair professional, but you need to make sure that all of these ends here are really cut the proper way. Because if you don't cut them, then what's gonna happen is it's gonna be very thin, okay? All right, now I mentioned I don't wanna layer the hair too much. However, I do wanna layer it slightly because slight layering is actually going to really help create a little bit of movement, and it's also gonna skim the ends here. Look how thin and fried these ends are. So what I wanna do is actually just strengthen those up to make sure they're a little bit thicker. And that's pretty much it. How do I do that? Well, I cut the first section horizontally going straight across. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna simply pull everything straight out from the head and skim the ends. That is the crucial part of this entire haircut right here, is just pulling this as far out from the head as you can and simply just skimming the ends. Skimming the ends is gonna maintain the length. It's also gonna make sure that you're keeping those ends looking much healthier. It's gonna make a huge difference. If you do not clean up these ends down in through here, what's gonna happen is the hair is gonna grow out very unevenly. It's gonna look very stringy. And if you have fine hair, then it's just not gonna work out in your favor. And as your hair grows, say you're trying to grow your hair out, what's gonna happen is it's gonna look really stringy, right? And unhealthy. and it's gonna look even finer and wispier. The goal here, and on any sort of hair texture, especially fine hair, is to thicken the hair. And you can do that literally with the proper haircut, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm really trying to create a stronger shape, and it's pulling the hair straight out from the head. You don't want to pull it upwards to make it even more wispy and thin, right? This mannequin head, believe it or not, I know this is Asian hair. I can tell 100%, but there's a lot of the hair. However, there's not a lot on the head. Like, they didn't really put a lot of hair on the actual head itself. So, if you're somebody who has like this texture hair, and the hair itself is really, really thick, but there's not a ton of it, you know, there's all different hair types and varieties. You can have like super thick hair, but not a lot of it. Or like this, you can have, you know, super fine hair. I'm sorry, not like this one, but you can have situations where the hair is super fine and have a ton of it. So this is the opposite. The hair is very thick, but there's not a lot of density in the hair. So all I'm doing right now is literally just making sure that this is a balanced shape. I'm making sure that these ends here are much stronger as far as the thickness, so they're not wispy. I'm trying to create a little bit of movement and texture. And I'm actually going through this haircut, I would say, I don't want to say quickly, but because I have my goal in mind, right, the end goal, and I know exactly what I'm trying to do, it just makes things so much easier for me to really just glide through this haircut. Again, it's all about adding sharpness to the haircut, adding thickness to the ends. This is going to be worn primarily slicking it back or off the face. Also, as far as face shapes, I know I'm going to get the question, oh, what kind of face shape do I need, Salon Guy, and this and that. If you have an oval face shape, if you have a round face shape, you know, this is going to work perfectly fine for you. All right, here we go. So now I'm going to be blending the back into the top. And yes, I'm layering this, but I'm layering this ever so softly, just like this. Boom. That's it. Ever so softly. And what I'm doing is combing the hair straight up to make that solid connection. Now, once I'm done with this, which I almost am in 1 second, is the top now is done as far as the back goes. Now I'm going to blend in and layer the top here. So pulling it straight up, and I'm just snipping those ends. I'm not trying to take a ton of hair off. I'm literally just trying to really, really focus on skimming those ends here. And there you go. Get rid of those wispy ends, and that's the top. Now we've got the top, the corners, and the sides. As I mentioned in all of my haircuts, I'm always doing the top, the corners, and the sides. So the top is done. I'm going to start in the back area here, and let's work in through the corners. The corners is basically where the head rounds off, like so, and there's the length right there. There's the corner length. And yes, I am cutting this because this is part of the shape, right? These are all stringy pieces, as you can see. Very, very stringy, and I don't want stringy pieces. I'm trying to make this hair look thicker. Okay, now we're going to do the sides. The sides is the very bottom, right here. The very, very bottom, there it is. And I'm being cautious not to really cut the length. I'm really trying to strengthen up what's on top of that length, right? Because it's already wispy enough, which is how the mannequin came. I'm looking to strengthen that. All right, other side. And you could see how quickly I'm really working through this. I'm not rushing it. I'm not hacking the haircut. You know, this isn't a hack job. This is a really, really good haircut. I'm just, because I've done this so many times, I'm following the same pattern, right? Just follow the same pattern and you're gonna be in good shape. If you're a barber watching this, if you're a hairstylist watching this, just keep it simple, right? Keep it simple. The hair will talk to you. If you're a client getting your hair done, right, and you don't see the professional who's cutting your hair, whether it's a hairstylist, whether it's a barber, you don't see them being thorough, and you can't see the pattern they're doing, and they're all over the place. So they start taking out like clippers and tools that you're like, what are you doing? You know, like, why are you taking out a buzzer? You know, like, I don't want a lineup. I don't want this. I'm trying to wear my hair to go back. Now, the haircut is complete. And I always suggest, you know, again, if you're gonna wear the hair off like that, off the center, then yes, you could do it this way. But what I wanna do is we're gonna try to slick this all off the face. An essential product that's needed is Tidal Wave. So I've made a lot of upgrades to Tidal Wave. We've got a brand new package design, an upgraded bottle, okay? So it's gonna have a better connection here. So, you know, it just helps prevent from any sort of leaking when it's in transit. Updated design, as you can see through here, looks phenomenal. I've lightened the color slightly and also softened the same exact fragrance. It's just all upgrades throughout the entire thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 spritzes is all I'm gonna use, and I'm gonna run this through just like this. Running it through is gonna help distribute the product evenly. Okay, now I'm gonna blow dry it. For the blow dry, I'm gonna be using my blow dryer. That's the benefit of having my own brand, is now I can finally use all of my own stuff, okay? So this is my Ionic blow dryer. I did invest in the Ionic technology. I've upgraded this so that these magnetic attachments work phenomenally well. These are selling like crazy thanks to all of you. This is great for travel, so you can fold it in half. Also, it's only made to work in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Do not purchase this in the United States and have it shipped anywhere outside or anywhere in Europe or Asia, anywhere. It's only gonna work in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. It's actually a safety hazard because of the voltage differences. So do not try that. It's not gonna be a pretty sight, all right? I'm gonna blow dry this literally with using my hand, using the nozzle. You need the magnetic nozzle right here, so it directs the hair. And I'm just gonna blow dry this using my hand. Your hand is gonna be the best tool for this. And then we'll see what it looks like when I'm done here. The blow dry is complete, and as you can see, even though the hair is a bit longer and the hair is not a ton of it, Tidal Wave gave this a ton of volume. All I did was spray about 6 spritzes of Tidal Wave on damp hair, blow dried it with my hands. I did a little bit of lifting from the scalp area, just like this, to get some lift from it. So you're gonna get a ton of natural volume from using Tidal Wave. Okay. Now, it really depends on you as far as what you want to style this with, okay? I've got products like my Shadow Cream Pomade, which works great. I've got my Crafted Matte Pomade, which is actually probably an incredible product for something like this because we're trying to get this to be slicked back more. but I'm going to use my new product called One Clay. Now, it's technically a clay when you work it through your hands a certain way, but this is a versatile 3-in-1 hair product. This is a hair cream, a hair pomade, and a matte clay, depending on how you work it into your hands. This is my newest product. I'm super proud of this. Smells phenomenal. Just flip that down, flip it open, and you don't need a lot of this. So I'm going to scoop a finger scoop. You don't have to press down, it comes out like butter. And here is where the magic happens. So if you work it through your hands and it's still really, really, really creamy, it's gonna be like a medium to firm holding cream, all right? Almost like a power cream in a sense. If you work it through all the way in your hands and you see absolutely no product, it's fully worked through, that is the matte clay property. That's really great for shorter hairstyles. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna work it into my hands to where it's a bit creamy, but a light gloss. That's gonna turn it more into a pomade. So now what I'm gonna do is work this through through the hair like this, and I'm going to run my fingers through, and as you can see, I'm getting a lot of control in the hair. I'm really, getting that pomade type of slick back style that I was hoping for. And that is the unique thing about One Clay, and that's what I wanted to be the most versatile hair product out there, right? And I'm gonna work it through the back, and this is gonna give it that that next day, that lived in type of feel. This is the most versatile hair product, right? And I'm extremely happy about this. So there you go, literally just slicked it all back. I would say it's kind of like a natural shine. There's a bit of natural shine to it, which is good for dull hair, right? If your hair is like really dull and you're looking for something that's gonna give it just a little bit more of a healthier, natural, more shine, then this is gonna work great for you. You can keep running your fingers through it. It's very pliable. But for these types of styles, I think this is more of like a set it and forget it type of look, right? Set it and forget it. So work your fingers back, and you can even tuck this behind the ear. Because these ears don't protrude out from the head too much, it's gonna be a little bit tougher too, but you can slick this behind your ear like this. But basically, this is how you're gonna achieve that kind of slick back, longer hairstyle. The length comes down to about right here, right? If you wanna have some pieces coming down like this, you can easily cut this all shorter into here. But I think, I know a lot of people are asking for like slick backs and longer hairstyles, so here it is. And then if you want to shake the product up a little bit, shake the hair up a little bit, then this is what's going to happen. Again, I created a ton of fullness from using this product. So if you want a full voluminous type of look, then you're going to get that as well from using One Clay. It's just going to be a bit more tamed. If you want to use any of the products that I used in today's video, shop.TheSalonGuy.com. Use code YouTube20. That's YouTube20 at shop.TheSalon.com. Everything that I've used here is at my store. Just you cannot purchase the blow dryer if you are not in the United States or Canada or even Mexico. All right, so let me know if you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have your hair like this, right? Are you wearing a longer kind of slick back? I'm really excited about this product, One Clay. This is probably one of my favorite, if not the favorite, in my lineup. I put a lot of work into this, a lot of testing to make sure it's gonna perform in the manner that it does. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.